Sa means set. Shet means set. Sa means Shah. Shaitan. Sai means moon. X means moon. That's why when you say, oh, that's my ex, no, you don't want to call people your ex, because X is the moon. What is the moon connected to? The controller? They're my controller? No. You want to say, that's my divorced is a great word, because DE means separate. Vor means to consume. Well, actually, because devora, that means to devour. So I don't even know if I want to say divorced. Well, it could go either way, because it's like DE means separate, and then vor means consume. So like devor. So we're separate. You just want to say separate. Not together, not join the past. We're not together anymore. I would say that. We're not one. We're not with each other. That's what I would say. I wouldn't say that's my ex. No. Consumo and devora means to become one. So, anyway, I wanted to talk about the moon phases today. So how do we say moon? You can say X, or you could say SI, or CI, Psi, or sin. As we say, Jesus died for your sins. He died for your moons, your signatures, your person, because PER means no. Sun means light. So a person is a demon. Demon, separate. Man means light, because on means light. That's why on a light switch, it's on or off. Anyway, so let's talk about the moon phase. First moon phase. I'm going to do this in 8 sections. We're going to do 8 moon phases. I split them up into 8. I'm not going to do like 12. Or some people have it like 13. Well, there's 13 moon phases, but I just have it split up into 8 for easy memory. First moon phase. New moon. Okay, so this is when the moon is all dark. So you can think of this as soil. This is when you want to plant seeds. So let's say if I wanted a goat on the new moon, I would plant the seed of me getting a goat. I'd say I want a goat. I'm going to plant that seed of me getting a goat. And then you're going to have to wait for that seed to grow. So so the light side of the moon represents that seed growing. And by the time it gets to full moon, my goat will have grown. The goat seed that I planted will have grown. And then the darkness will start to come in. So I'm going to have to protect that manifestation from the darkness. And you'll see how you do that when I explain the moon phases based on that analogy of planting seeds. So new moon, this is the time to plant seeds. This is when spells manifest. Like if I casted a spell on the last quarter moon, it can manifest on the new moon. Or you could cast a spell. So I'm saying like when to cast spells, but some of these things could also be like when you do it. So just like listen to what I'm saying and you'll get what I mean. Like the first moon, that's the new moon. Okay, this is where I'm going to plant seeds, but also spells can manifest on this moon depending on the working. This depends on what you're doing. Usually I would say like organically, I don't know, I guess I would just say traditionally, if I plant a seed to get a goat, it'll come in on the full moon. But sometimes it could come in before that. Or if I cast a spell on the waning moon, it could come in on the next day. So it just really depends on what you're doing. But organically, not really organically, I guess you could say traditionally, it depends. I guess it depends on how much energy you have. Because remember, each moon phase is gathering energy. So it really depends. But anyway, I'm just going to say it like this to keep it simple. First moon phase, that's the dark soil, you're planting seeds. it represents beginnings and impulse. So this is when the magician begins their spell work. So with spells, this is when I'm going to cast out new beginnings. So me wanting a goat, that would be a new beginning for me. So this moon represents impulse. So I'm going to cast it out now. Spells about new beginnings, impulse. Okay, so that's the first moon phase. Yeah. New beginnings, impulse, planting seeds, and spells will manifest. All right. Second moon phase. This is the crescent moon. I call this the Death Note moon, because this moon phase is death spells. This is when you're going to cast out death spells. And they could manifest the next day. They can manifest on the full moon, the new moon. It just depends on what you're doing. But you want to cast them out on this day. This is also for spells about movement and action and preparation. So, like, you know, when you get like that new outfit and you lay it out on the bed before school, the night before, you would do that on a crescent moon. Or I would cast a spell about action, like, tomorrow I want this football player to move left. I would cast that out on the crescent moon, and depending on, and it can manifest the next day. It just depends on how it's tethered. It's all about tethering. Okay, third moon phase. This would be the I call it the three, or the throat. This is connected to Taurus because Taurus is the builder, and this moon phase is all about building and rebuilding. So like changing buildings, like building it up and rebuilding it, and like destroying foundations and just changing buildings, like rebuilding. It's also where you want to cast out spells for poor health, like sickness and car crashes. Like if I wanted some, I know that I got these moon phases from Oshun, and I know that they work because I casted out a spell. Moon phase I'm talking about for car crashes, and you can see this guy, his face got all, so I drew this and I put the intent into it to cause a car crash. And then in the mail, I didn't order this. My stalker sent it to me, and I did not give them my address. And I never showed them the shirt that I made. I showed no one. And I got this. It's a Lego car in pieces, was sent to my house. Yeah. And if you don't believe it's a car, I didn't order it. And look, here's the license plate. It's a car. It's a toy car. It's a Aston Martin. I don't know, the first quarter. That's the first quarter moon. So first quarter moon is for poor health, sickness, and killing in a car crash. Okay. So yeah, that one worked. I got this from. And then another one, I did a crescent moon. That's the second moon phase. Crescent moon. Second. I casted, so this second moon, crescent moon, that's for movement, action, preparation, and death spells. I casted, it was a box that hadn't been put together yet, and this box, once it got put together, it was going to be a death trap, okay? If you want to look up the video to see it, go to, it's called Stocks 6886, and it's by Dan Dye. So that box you're going to see in the video, it's the logo, the stock logo, that folds up into Pandora's box, and it like sucked like demon entities into it in the name of Jesus Christ. All right, so we got the third moon phase, which is the one I showed on the shirt. That is poor health and killing in a car crash, and building and rebuilding. So that's Taurus energy. It's builder energy. Okay. Fourth moon phase. This is gibbous. Okay. 4 gibbous. Okay. So this is about detailed work. So this is what I meant earlier when I said you can cast out spells about detailed work here, or you can do detailed work on this day and tether it to that moon. And so some of them, it can go both ways. Some of them you want to cast out the spell that will do that on this day. Some of them you want to do that type of stuff on this day. So you kind of just have to get a feel for it. So gibbous, that would be detailed work and personal self-development. So I wouldn't cast a spell to kill someone on this day because this day is about you. So if I'm casting death spells on the gibbous moon, which is the day about self, I'm gonna die. Okay, the 5th moon, that's the full moon. This is completion and bringing in your harvest, and this is when spells can manifest, okay? So if I cast out a spell on the gibbous moon or the 1st quarter or the crescent moon, it's probably going to manifest on the full moon because that means completion. The spell is complete, and yeah, it's going to manifest. The full moon is about endings. So let's say I file for a divorce on the new moon. The divorce will probably be complete by the full moon. You don't want to wish for things on the full moon. That's a very bad trick when they say to make a wish on the full moon, because everything that you plant into the full moon is for endings. So it will end. Anything you wish for will be over. So if I said into the full moon, I want a prosperous marriage, and I plant that into the full moon, okay, my marriage is going to end, okay, because the full moon is for endings. It's completion. It's receiving your harvest. It's, you know. Another thing about the moon phases is, how do you taint somebody else's harvest? Well, as you can see, here's the new moon. This is the soil, right? So if somebody planted their seeds here, on each moon phase, that's on the second, I'm gonna say death to your soil, death to your soil, death to your soil, but I'm not gonna do it on the gibbous moon. And then right when the gibbous moon ends and right before the full moon, I'm gonna wish more death. Then when their harvest grows, which this is the growth, like it grew, the seeds have grown, they're gonna have like fungus and they're not gonna grow right. So that, yeah. Okay, so we did that. So now let's go to the 6th moon phase. This one is, this is when you want to protect. So this is when, okay, so this is like, so now the darkness is coming back around, see? And this dark energy, so this is your harvest, okay? This is your manifestation, your abundance, you know, your harvest, your, the seeds have grown. Okay, so they're grown here. Let's say these are like your corn. Okay, see this darkness is going to try and take over your corn. So in this seminating moon, you want to protect this harvest that you got on the full moon. And you want to banish out any darkness because you see the darkness is coming in. So this is a time to like read Psalms, protect yourself, and banish all evil. This would be the 6th moon. That's the seminating moon, right after the full moon. You want to banish and protect. Okay, 7th moon phase. This is the last quarter. I also connect this one to the evil eye. This would be to cast hexes and destruction spells. Okay, 8th moon. This is the balsamic moon, also known as the Sabbath moon. You don't cast any spells. This is the Sabbath. You just rest. Things can still happen to you. Spells can still manifest, but you can't cast them out on this day. So if I cast a spell on the last quarter, so if I cast a hex on the last quarter, it could manifest on the balsamic moon. But I can't cast a spell on the balsamic moon. And then you're just going to get the new moon again, and then yeah. So it just bounces for each moon phase. It just bounces around.